the poorest feedback is no feedback. I mean, it's just that, the mark, the grade, possibly linked to those ticks. There's good evidence that students hate those ticks that appear in margins and things because they have no idea what they mean. Is it that the member of staff has got to that piece of the work and has sort of gone off to make a cup of tea, or is it that line's very good, is the page very good? So it's that poor feedback is a failure to communicate.
Feedback is a lot more than the comments that tutors or staff make about students' work. Feedback requires a response, like why are we doing it if we don't require a response? We're expecting students to do something which leads to improved work. So when we're looking at the concept of feedback, we need to look at not just what we say to students, but we need to look at what students subsequently do. And what we call feedback, that is the information we give to them, can only be understood in the light of the effect that it has. So we need to be shifting our focus in feedback away from inputs to effects. So what effect does it have? And if I don't know what the effect my comments have on students, how do I know what to say to them? So we need to be thinking much more about seeing feedback not as the act of giving information, but as part of a process and a cycle that ends with students producing more effective work. So we need to think about feedback loops. So we need to stop talking about the comments we give to students as feedback. We need to say that's hopefully useful information we give to students, and think of feedback as this loop that leads to students' subsequent work.
Engagement is about moving beyond that fairly ineffective one-way communication. And engagement is about getting the students to truly interact with the issue of feedback, the quality of their work. David Nicol from Strathclyde famously says that if we want feedback to be effective, we need to move beyond trying to make it a better monologue and make it into a dialogue. So engaging students with feedback, it's not new. I mean, everyone has undoubtedly heard of and maybe even had a go at self-assessment, peer assessment, etc. But it's about doing those things in a systematic and concerted way from day one when the students arrive. So it's about using marking exercises, getting students using criteria, talking with other students about what do these criteria mean, is this a good piece of work against that criterion, etc. That's what engagement with feedback looks like.